Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Saturday night's Saturday night's main event. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Shall I to leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Saturday night's main event, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, full disclaimer, I was not able to watch Saturday night's main event live last night. I had it on in the background. It was my friend's bachelor party yesterday, so it wasn't at my house or anything. But we did have it on within the background, but we weren't really paying attention to the show, right? We were more focused on hanging out with each other, playing games, and and all that fun bachelor party stuff. But finally got to watch it on Sunday morning. And yeah, now granted, I did not have commercials throughout the broadcast, but you do get the breaks as you go through, going, we'll be right back, and then cuts to black, and then then it goes back to the match itself. And man, that tag team match had like 4 commercial breaks throughout its duration. Like I said on my immediate reaction on TikTok that I really felt like I was watching a highlight package. Now, with how the crowd was reacting, the match was good. I really like how it started, how they just brawled the whole entire time. But I swear that opening brawl lasted like 45 seconds, and then we were at commercial. And it was like that throughout the show, so I won't keep harping on it, especially as someone who did not really get to suffer with everyone else. It does feel a little bit wrong, but I did want to make the opening joke going into it. But yeah, the first match was pretty good. CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, of what I saw anyway. Like I said, I did feel like I watched a highlight package more than an actual match itself. I really like what we did at the end with Bronson Reed coming out to be the third man. Now, I am all more than willing to give it until Monday to see what the justification is as to why Seth Rollins wants Bronson Reed within the group. And to me, it won't take a lot. I know a lot of people are saying that, hey, now it makes no sense because Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed had a feud. It could be as simple as Seth Rollins coming out and going, look, he did beat me quite a bit. He destroyed me. He cost months of my career. But I am all about the future, and Bronson Reed is the future. So therefore, I am willing to swallow my pride, shake this man's hand, and have him guide me because he understands the vision, and we are going to take over the future. Then, we also had the stare down between Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as well. Maybe that's strike one for Braun Breaker to be like, well, Seth, I would like for you to start telling me these things before you do them instead of just doing it and having me just accept it for the ride. Again, reminiscent of the bloodline, right? Braun Breaker being the Jey Uso type. So I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued by the group. I'm really curious to see how this is in effect Monday. And let's do it. Let's do Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker going for the World Tag Team titles, and then Seth gets the World Heavyweight title, and have that group run an absolute muck, really run Monday nights. I am genuinely all for it. I did see that, because as of the time recording, I did see that Seth Rollins is in a qualifying match for Money in the Bank. I do think he is the one to dethrone Jey Uso, because I do think Jey Uso, out of all the champions, is the one that can be cashed in on. I also think maybe the men's title might have a long hold, since it had the short hold this year, because you know how WWE likes to do it, right? One Money in the Bank holder is short, while the other one is it goes long. Last year, Tiffany Stratton held it for a good while. Drew McIntyre cashed it in almost immediately. So now I think I'm going to flip it. Women's will be a quick cash in, while the men's will go on for a while. So I don't know if Seth Rollins necessarily needs the briefcase again. I don't think so, but I do think he is the one to beat Jey Uso. And if out of the 2 world champions and the contenders, which one is more likely to get cashed in on? It would be Jey Uso. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we progress the story going forward. Seth Rollins has made it clear he is coming for that World Heavyweight title by one way or another after the Gunther and Jey Uso match. So we will keep an eye on it. But yeah, I really am liking the pairing. I could see Bronson Reed helping Seth Rollins to get into Money in the Bank along with Braun Breaker. It could be like a makeshift tag team match with Sami Zayn and Finn Balor having to fend them off, but I'm still going for Finn Balor in that match. But yeah, overall, very good opening. Again, I wish I could have seen a lot more of the match, and I could say that for a lot of the other matches as well. But hey, for what I saw, it was really good. CM Punk has reached a whole other level. Yeah, it was a good time. Then Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green. It went just as we expected it, right? It barely went 5 minutes. It did not. There was Chelsea Green came out, and then we had some promotion, and then we went to commercial break, and then Zelina Vega came out. Then we had the match, and then it was over before it even really got going. Zelina Vega held onto the title, which is what we expected, and I would assume at Evolution, since that did get confirmed within 2 months, that it will be Julia versus Zelina Vega for the United States title. Because again, why did Julia pin the U.S. champion? Why did we make sure the U.S. champ wasn't a qualifying match? And so that way, after Julia does not win Money in the Bank, she can go, well, I did pin the U.S. champ, so I would like a title shot, and let's do it at Evolution, and then here we go. But yeah, nothing to really comment on that U.S. title match because it didn't really get going. Now, then we move into John Cena versus R-Truth. And again, not to keep harping on the commercial breaks, because, I get it to a degree, right? And it's not really about the commercial breaks. It's just, we also had all these video packages, one to explain why John Cena and R-Truth were fighting, like it was a PLE. And we also had one for Jey Uso and Logan Paul. And then they also okay, here's what happened this week, here's what happened that week. And I get it, you're trying to show the new audience, because you're expecting the new audience to come in and watch the show, that, hey, here's what we're doing on Mondays and Fridays, you should tune in. Absolutely. But I also just think you should just let the ring quality get those people to tune in to your Monday and Friday shows as well. I don't think you need to keep harping on video packages to do that. Because it just took a while until we finally got to the match. Now, when we got to the match, I enjoyed it. I'm one of the few people who didn't mind R-Truth versus John Cena. I'm also one of the few people who is not completely mad at WWE's booking right now. It's been a minute since I've been upset with WWE's booking, and we'll get more into it later with the big controversy that happened at the end. But I love when R-Truth came out. He has seen his music. He was dressed just like John Cena. I kind of want to get the Ron Cena shirt. Did the whole shebang. They came out. John Cena attacks him from behind when the bell starts, rips the clothes off of him, and I think he ripped off his jewelry as well. And then Cena does his 5 moves of doom, which charges R-Truth up. He does Cena's 5 moves of doom as well. Cena acts like he's going to hit him with the title, but nope, just kicks him in the balls instead. Attitude adjustment 1, 2, 3. Short, simple, absolutely loved it. And then afterwards, he does hit him with the bell and then runs off. Has that segment with Jey Uso. They have the conversation, and John Cena's like, you know what would ruin wrestling? Me retiring with this world title, and Logan Paul is the world heavyweight champion. That is how I'm going to ruin wrestling. And again, we'll get to it when we get to the actual main event, so we'll hold off on it. But I do have thoughts on that, but I did like the segment between Jey Uso and John Cena quite a bit. It did feel like a big deal that the 2 world champions were associating with each other. We typically don't get that until, well, I guess Crown Jewel time now. So that was pretty cool to see it that early on. It did feel like a big deal. The steel cage match was a lot of fun between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Love Jesse Ventura on commentary. Please never put the leash on him. I especially love the ending quite a bit, because it is a little bit of a dumb booking decision that Damian decided to walk out of the cage as opposed to pinning Drew McIntyre. And Michael Cole's going, yeah, but he wants to embarrass Drew by just leaving him there, and that he was just so easily able to walk away and Drew couldn't do anything. Well, it was just as embarrassing, Michael, pinning your rival 1, 2, 3. And Jesse Ventura just going in on it. Wait, he could just walk out the door? That was so funny. He goes, well, if you would have climbed out, I would have respected a little bit more. No, that's a stupid finish. Loved it. Please, never put the leash on Jesse Ventura. That was so funny. It was great. To me, it was the highlight of the night overall. And yeah, it was. When there's dumb booking decisions, I don't mind, a guest commentator calling out, because, it was pretty dumb. But I heard Drew McIntyre's gonna be off for TV for a while. I heard he can barely move his neck. So whatever he has to do to get a little bit of a break, God love him. I hope he rests up and he comes back better than ever. And yeah, again, the steel cage match was a lot of fun. I had a ball with it. I love Jesse Ventura on commentary. I wish he could do it a lot more than just on Saturday night's main events. because again, he's just great, and I love it how he just calls it like he sees it. And now we get to the main event: Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. And one, it should have been a DQ finish because John Cena pulls the referee out. And honestly, Jey and Logan were having a pretty good match back and forth. They got a "This is awesome" chant. Granted, almost every match now gets a "This is awesome" chant, but needless that's to say, the people were still into the match, right? The fans were still enjoying it. They were engaged throughout, so you can't fully be mad at it. So look, you're more than welcome to feel how you feel about Logan Paul. Personally, again, to me, a lot of that is very much justified. But you cannot just discredit all of his talent and what he's able to do in the ring just because you don't like him personally. You can still, I don't know if respect's the right word, but you can still admit, hey, there is some things you do that are good when you do not like someone. If you just completely dismiss someone completely just because you don't like them, I think there's a falseness in your words within that. That's just me personally. But again, you are more than welcome to not like Logan Paul as a person. I tend to agree with those reasons as to why people do not like him personally. But he is a hell of a professional wrestler, and he does his, and he's very talented within what he does. And now we have this match that's confirmed because Cody Rhodes made his big return, big pop, absolutely loved it. And then, yeah, we're doing Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus Logan Paul and John Cena. And again, what I already hinted at early on, I don't hate it. I don't mind it. I don't love it. It's just a match that's going to happen because, of course, these types of things are going to happen. That's a big money match. And we'll see if Travis Scott gets added on later on. That it becomes a 6-man tag, and, you know, we add Jimmy Uso to the mix as well. You know, screw brand splits, right? Maybe this is what causes a draft to happen. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, you know, WWE's going to do everything they can to continue to make money. I know a lot of people are, you know, harping, you know, corporate greed, TKO's ruining WWE, blah, blah, blah. Vince did it better. First of all, Vince did not do it better. Like I said, it's been a long time since I have been genuinely upset with booking at WWE. And the last time that I was genuinely upset with booking within WWE was during the Vince era. And during the Triple H era, I still haven't had that. Sure, did I love the road to WrestleMania? No, not particularly, but all the matches were pretty good. And I still think WrestleMania 41 was a good show. And no, I do not necessarily mind if it's back in Vegas next year, especially, you know, with how much money they made during the event and how accessible it was for the fans there. I had a friend who went to the show. He said, I returned my rental car because I was able to walk to everything. I was able to get that deposit back. And I loved it. I loved being in Vegas. Oh, I did. That was my friend saying that he enjoyed it. You know, all these things that WWE's doing to, you know, continue to make money, that's what businesses do. And every business is going to do that. And every business should strive to do that. If, you know, this is something that's not really moving you, you are more than welcome to feel that way. But these people who are constantly complaining at the company for doing these things, and I mean this with no disrespect, there's another program that happens on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and they have an event this Sunday that do just focus on the wrestling. Tune into that. And I know you don't because their ratings aren't, you know, the greatest. They still get good numbers. But AEW, you know, they need more eyes. And maybe that is more saddled for you. For me, personally, I still don't mind what they are doing. I think the tag match is going to be okay. I'd rather them do it at Money in the Bank as opposed to SummerSlam, where I do think we're going to tie this heel turn of John Cena up in a nice bow. I just don't know how we're going to justify it because, you know, he had that moment at Backlash where he did seem like he started to regret some things. He had the hesitation at Saturday Night's Main Event. And then, you know, he continues to beat up R-Truth a little bit. Afterwards, you know, he still hits the low blow. He still hits him with the title afterwards. Even if it was just the low blow, then it would have been okay. I would have liked a little bit more tease of fighting with the light side. And then he immediately goes, I'm going to ruin wrestling because Logan Paul is going to be the champion. I just don't know how we're going to do this tag match and then have the final confrontation between Cena and Cody where Cena finally sees the light and turns good, all within the amount of, well, basically 2 months. I guess we can do that. It just depends on what his dates are. I don't know if he's working Night of Champions, which I do believe is after Money in the Bank. Well, I know there's another Saturday Night's Main Event before Evolution, but I don't think he was advertised for that. I don't think I remember him seeing that in that advertising. But You know, again, I do think the heel turn is about to end, and I necessarily haven't minded it. And I really don't mind him teaming with Logan Paul. It's a big money match. It's going to get a lot of eyes on the product. And, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, to be like, oh, I want to be a part of the business. Whatever is going to get me to talk to more people, whether that be online or in person about wrestling, I will take. Ever since we've been having the Logan Pauls, the Bad Bunnies, the Travis Scotts moment, there's been a lot more people at work who come to me and go, hey, what are they doing over there in wrestling? And we're having conversations, and, you know, more people are more interested in it. Hell, even at the bachelor party I was at, sure, the groom-to-be is interested in wrestling. I'm interested into wrestling, and we had another person who was interested in wrestling as well. No one else was, but there were a few times that we had it on that you saw the people who are not into wrestling looked at the show because they recognized Logan Paul. They recognized John Cena. And it didn't matter that, you know, hey, they weren't a fan of, you know, Cena being a bad guy. They weren't a fan of Logan Paul as a person. It was just like, huh, they're doing some interesting stuff over there. So whatever is going to get more people to be more interested in it and then maybe to continue on afterwards, I will take, which is why I don't necessarily mind the booking. Do I love it? No. Would I rather both Jey Uso and John Cena be in world title matches at Money in the Bank? Absolutely. But with only doing 5 matches, we have yet to have a women's world title be defended at a PLE since WrestleMania, which we do need to do at Money in the Bank at least, because now we have 3 of the matches confirmed. One of them can be one of the women's world titles. So be it, because I now understand I'm only getting 5 matches. I'm not going to keep complaining about, hey, I want more than 5 matches when WWE is clearly doesn't plan on striving away from that. Got to learn to respect it and move on from it. So, you know, if this is how we're going to get both our world champions on the docket, they don't defend their titles, it's going to be a tag team match, and it's going to make room for a women's world title match, then so be it. But yeah, overall, Saturday Night's Main Event was an okay show. I didn't necessarily love it. I don't think we're going to remember it. Besides a couple of things, it just depends on, you know, the later on execution of the Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker segment. I think that's probably going to be the most memorable thing, because we can pinpoint if this group is successful. Hey, this is when we really got cooking. The Logan Paul stuff, again, we'll see. With John Cena, of course, we'll see how it goes. The Cody pop was pretty good, but yeah, everything else was just kind of there for the most part. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section. Leave a like if you made it this far within a review. I do greatly appreciate it. And of course, hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.